So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mercury as the Atmakaraka in your sixth house. Okay, as in what happens when Mercury is controlling the highest degree in your birth chart, known as the Atmakaraka, which is symbolized by AK, especially if you get a report from my website on astrologycares.com under shop section. It'll tell you in the Gemini section what's your 7 Karakas. So it's the planet with the highest degree. That shows the biggest responsibility you have in your life. The lessons that must be learned and then worked on, executed. That is what the Atmakaraka represents. Okay. And so here the Atmakaraka is in the sixth house. And doesn't matter about the sun. You can even have Mercury as the Atmakaraka in the sixth house in Virgo. It's an exalted position of Mercury, but it is doing something far different than being exalted or debilitated. So in this particular manner, okay, the first thing you will notice that within your entire clan, your kith and kin, meaning your aunts, your female cousins, any form of female cousins, aunts, especially the females, will always deal with some form of health issue which will be introduced to you, which you will feel this burdened about. Either it's the health issue or their life has been completely ups and downs. And this is more prominent. And this is something I have not discussed, about retrograde planets. In most of my series, what if like a planet is retrograde? But in this case, if it's retrograde, most definitely 100%. But the thing is, what is the lesson here for the soul to learn? Is the responsibility of especially somehow taking care of such people, consoling such people. That's your daily routine. Like most people nowadays don't keep in touch with their cousins, aunts, uncles. Neither do I. I think I just speak to my astrologer uncle and their kids, like on our app. I actually just spoke recently. And there's one other cousin, one of my favorite cousins. But other than that, nobody. And literally, trust me, we Indians, we have a huge family, right? I mean, if I was to count literally 25 to 30 cousins that we knew, we hung out with, we couldn't wait to see them, I don't know what's going on with them, But here that responsibility comes into play. The other thing, besides outside of the family dynamics, okay, because your job is to, because see, sixth house is also your maternal aunts and uncles. There's going to be a big responsibility in life to deal with that, or especially the lesson is that you're born in the family where you don't get maternal aunts and uncles. So you don't get that experience. And one kind of lacks that experience internally. But sixth house Mercury, obviously as the Atmakaraka, the person needs to get over and learn, because see what happens with young age, certain things happen, whether somebody gets bullied, somebody is, psychologically abused in the family. So there's an anxiety that builds up with the Atmakaraka of Mercury. An anxiety, panic. You will also see the Atma is here to get misdiagnosed as well. Somehow in the healthcare field, one gets some form of a misdiagnosis. Not a big deal, not a small deal, because that all depends on the chart, but it does happen. And because of that, one may like, for example, back in the days, if you were somehow having a paranormal experience, right? Back in, I think, 20s, 30s, what did they do? Or if, let's say, you were manically depressed, they gave you a lobotomy. which is literally nowadays, if you look at it, it's a crime. It's criminal to do that. But that was like a mass misdiagnose or mistreatment. Okay, so here, because of those anxieties, panics, you know, the soul has to overcome things on its own. Why on your own? Because sixth house is where your support dies. You have to be this lone warrior to learn your lessons, to mess up, to screw up, and then improve your conditions from there. Why? Why is it that the Atmakaraka, especially Mercury, will find lack of support? Because the Atmakaraka is in the sixth house, which is eighth from the 11th house. What is 11th house? 11th house is your support. People who are there for your support. And the Atma is something that, we can't feel, we can't know. So on surface level, everybody will be like, of course we've been helping you. Of course we've been supporting you. But the person internally knows when I really need a support or type of support that I want, I'm not going to get it. I don't get it. Like for example, family loves you, family supports you and all of that. But let's say, for example, you're closeted gay and you're in a conservative family. And it's one of those situations that you have to support. Everybody's saying, hey, you have to support. Why are you feeling down and depressed and there's nobody to support you? Because they may have heard it from someone else. Nobody will support me. Because this person may not be able to just say something right out. Because then that support dies. So these type of situations, I'm not saying that's the situation. I'm just giving an example that it becomes really hard for the Atma to feel that support, because the support they truly want is hidden underneath. They can't tell anybody. Or for example, let's take another example, right? Somebody's born in a conservative Hindu family and this person, has support, but they will feel that I'm in love with a Muslim girl, or I'm in love with, let's say, a Jewish girl, or whatever the scenario is. I love this, Sikh man, and I'm a Brahmin. And this is that one support that, you can't bring it out. Because if you bring it out, it'll go there and die. So it's like the support has not even been expressed that it needs. And it's not coming to you. And this is why such a person has to take stance on their own and build their own support. One has to become their own support. But especially, you may have Mercury in the sixth house and it's not the Atmakaraka. You may have all the support in the world. But it's the Atma which is in the sixth. So now the dynamic of 8th from the 11th house of support, the Atma is not getting it. The support system doesn't realize the internal support that you need. External support you might have. And this is where, such a person, because Mercury is part of that mental shell. We usually refer to the mental makeup through mind. But that mental shell is Mercury because Mercury is naturally the child of Moon. This is why Mercury, which is memory, Moon, which is mind, they kind of go hand in hand, right? We still are not able to understand the dynamics of the mind. Where does the mind exist? Is it just everywhere? Where's the memory? Is the memory is in this particular thing inside? Or is the memory here? Or is the memory is also in my leg? Both of these things we're not able to understand. And this is where both Sun and or Moon and Mercury rule that dynamic. Okay. So it's because of that, dynamic of the mind and the memory, the mind here really then suffers. And again, is it because the universe hates you? No, it's because it's your own past life actions that are coming into play. And especially with Mercury in the 6th house, as the Atmakaraka, this person gets discriminated against. This is the person, because they discriminated in the past, they get discriminated because Mercury is discrimination. Okay, Mercury is the one that says, no, I don't like you. I like this person. I'm going to take this person. Exact same resume, exact same everything, but you chose something because this person wasn't in a certain level, you chose them. So yeah, a few people who deal with discrimination, racism, it's not like prevalent everywhere, like oxygen. No, it's certain group that has to go through this particular part. And why do they have to go through this part? Is because of that past life actions. That's why. So one of the things that the way the soul, heals itself through this, it's very simple. You gotta take part in helping young kids find their confidence. Like any kind of it doesn't have to be so dramatically like only orphans and homeless kids and this and that. No, could be a normal kid. Somehow in your life, you should work in helping out children, young girls find their confidence, helping them get rid of their trauma. Now, if you're not a psychologist or psychiatrist, you can't do that, right? But you can connect. You need to actually do this type of work. I'm not saying you have to make it a living out of it. I'm not saying you have to do this for whole life. But you have to put forth the effort at one point, maybe 1 year, that I'm going to help out all the kids that are suffering, and I'm going to either donate to their mental health, or I'm going to actually take part and participate with my skills in helping them out, making them feel better about life, better about skills. That, hey, with me, there's no discrimination. And especially with Mercury in the Atmakaraka in the 6th house, don't ever discriminate. Don't ever. I don't care what religious background you have, what higher echelons of, caste system you're in. You can't do that. Because then it keeps bothering this Mercury more and more and more and more. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mercury in the 6th house as your Atmakaraka. Again, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so remedies this type of videos. So if you want to know all the astrological details, including the fact that I've uploaded up to Cancer for 2025 horoscope, which are literally 20 to 30 minutes long for each ascendant. So by 25th, 26th, you'll have all the ascendant on KRS vlogs on Vedic Astrology Academy. For that, link is in the description, or you can just click here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.